54. Page 54. One of the big questions is a neshama that was ready in this world and was nisgalgal several times. Which body gets the neshama? Seems to be a complicated thing because the Zoya in one place has a machloikis and another place has something else, and then there's a pirush from the Arizal on it. The problem is that's the answer. The emes is that's the answer. The shaila is what's the shaila? Shaila is what's the shaila b'chlal. The Rebbe explains the shaila is because we say by Eliyahu Novi that he comes to everybody's. Eliyahu Novi comes to every house on Leila Seder. He comes to 6 million, 8 million, 10 million, 12 million, 18 million houses. Embaya. Embaya. Then there's a story. Just a little sip from every cup. You can get good chicken, yeah? So then so that's one thing. Pinchas Eliyahu, thank you for joining us. So one thing is when Eliyahu Navi is going to every house, we find that Rebbe Luna Saba. Could you give me a booklet, please? Very good. Page 54. I got it for you. Rebbe Luna Saba was in Sakona, and Leo went to save him, and then Leo came late to the Masifta Derekiva, and they said, "Why'd you come late?" He said, "I was saving it about Luna Saba." So Chassidus asked, he could go to 100 priests at once, a million houses at once. He can't go to Luna Saba and come to the Masifta Derekiva at the same time. The Chassidus says depends. If he's coming b'neshama beguf, the neshama is mugdir in one guf. He can be in two gufos. But if he's going just the neshama, then Eliyahu could go multiple places multiple times. Page 54. That's why there's no stira to Eliyahu be going to 18 million houses, the Leila Seder, and when he has to save Rebbe Amnuna Saba, he can't come to the Masif to give it because here was the Neshama Beguf. He can't be in two places at the same time. But here it was the Neshama Beguf. So Eliyahu could be in 18 million houses at the same time. The Rebbe says that's the Shaila. The problem is, because the Neshama is moved in a Guf, you're saying the Neshama has to come back to the Guf. That's the problem that we had. Lapoil, the way the Rebbe learns, the way the Arizal learns, the way the Rebbe says the Arizal learns the Pshat and the Zoya, is that every Guf will wake up at Techiyas HaMeisim. Why? Because in order to do a mitzvah, he has to use a koyach the neshama. That koyach the neshama that he used, that's the neshama. That's the part of the neshama that's going to wake up with him Techiyas HaMeisim. So if b'shas he was alive, he was metaken b'chinas nefesh. He'll be zeichel b'chinas nefesh. If he was learning Torah, he'll be zeichel then to learn Torah. If he was a Moraduvd in Tovin, he'll be zeichel then to be a Moraduvd in Tovin. Whatever it is, that's what he's going to be.
If he was a dog, one giggle, how can it in the Shema?
A cat. Who cares about a dog and a cat?
No, because gilgul can be added. Animal stuff.
Who cares? The cat doesn't care. Talking about the shama of and a goof of a yid. Amen. Okay. To show you a little bit the complex part of this is I made a copy here. The Zoya Chayesora, and Zoya Mishpotim. Chayesora. Look inside Chayesora first. First and Chayesora. Omre Pchiskia, it's about 6 lines from the top. Omre Pchiskia, you see it? Moshe, you got it? Yeah, Omre, yeah, very with the ink is smudged. Omre Pchiskia, item the kol guf in the alma yakum visana ma'afra. In guf in the is natiu b'nishmos achada mate minayu. If you're gonna say that all the gufim are gonna wake up at Techiyas HaMeisim and they'll stand up from the dust. So those gufim, that there were several gufim and only one neshama. In gufim these netiu b'nishmos achad matei minai. What are we going to do with them? There's three gufim and one neshama. What are we going to do? Amar Rabbi Yosi said, in gufim loizochav loitzlochav hare in kolohav. Those gufim were not zoich and not matzliach. They don't exist. Chamod av eitz yovish bahi alma ochinami ba'u zimna. Just like it was like a dry wood in that world. So Bois as man of Techiyas HaMeisim is the same thing. In the Gufa Basrod is Nata V'atzlach V'nota Shorshur Kedayus Yokum in the last Guf that was Matzliach and hit root and didn't need to have any more Gilgulim. That's the Guf is going to wake up. The other ones stay in the dust. That's a simple reading. I mean, that's, you read it. And over here it says, the Ovid even a tree that made fruits and hit roots and was successful. Allahu gufa kadmo the law of it even the law not shiroshin the law zacha the law atzlach, and the first guf which did not give fruits and did not hit roots was not zochen amatzliach si v'hoya ka'arer barova v'layirik yavetoy v'goymet. It's going to end up being like Shaf in the desert, and we'll never see the day of Toiv. What's Toiv? Ki yavitoy dot Techiyas HaMeisim. We'll never zochen to see Techiyas HaMeisim. And will shine that light for the tzaddikim. The Avagonis Kamei that was hidden by the Eibishter. Miyoima from the original day, the Izbiri Alma that he created the world, and then the Eibishter is going to use this light to be Machai the Mace. The Ksiv said, that it'll shine for you. What's going to shine? The Shemesh Sedoka, the Pasuk is going to say, Umerapa Bechnofel. So that sun is going to shine, and is going to make the Ripui of Techiyas HaMeisim. וכדין נסגר ברטב אלמה, והוא יזכררה יסעבר מאלמה כדמורם, וכדין אינם גופים כדמור להבה כלוהב. And therefore the Ra is going to go away from the world, and the Gufim, the original ones, is laheva klohava, that they will cease to exist. Rebbe Yitzchak said, no. Zaman kutshablich la roka layal inun Gufim ruchin achorin. Rebbe Yitzchak said that the Eibush is going to bring new ruchos for those old Gufim. And if they'll be zoiche, they will stand up. If not, you kitme tchoyser aglein the tzedekaya, they will be like dust under the feet of the tzaddikim. It says, "V'rami misheni ofo ad masofo yakitzu v'goymer." V'chule isyakim v'isabet kamekut shabrichu, and they're all going to stand up for the Eibishter. Chule b'minyona v'kamadat omer. And they're all going to be counted, as the pasuk says, "HaMeisim mispetzon v'goymer." Okay, so we see a machloikus here. Rebbe Yitzchak seems to be a little more kind. Rebbe Yosi seems to be a little more machmed. Rebbe Yitzchak seems to be a little more mekel. The Rebbe learns that the halach is like Rebbe Yosi, and the pshat in Rebbe Yosi is the opposite of what you think. Very interesting. Let's just read a few more lines. Tochazei. Vayitmar calling the Messiah in the Ba'arad Yisrael Yukumim Bekad Mesa. We learned that all the Mesa of Yisrael are going to wake up first. begin the kutshabrichu yatzer alayim b'yokum because the Eibishter is going to be ordered and wake them up. And like Sim, but then it says yichum esech. V'ilum lebe'ar de Yisrael nevelosa yakumun. This is where it says that nevelosa yakumun is ilan betoich de begoy ara acharonen. The loksevut chiyel akima. Over there it doesn't say tchi only kima. The Harucha the Chai Latish El Bar Kaddish Yisrael, because the Ruach Chaim Malon Misher in Eretz Yisrael.
The difference between Techiyas and Kiyum.
Read another few lines. Or begin Kach and goes to the Tzibur Yochem Esecha. V'yin in the Labar, those are on the outside in the Chutzaretz Yizber Gufet Lahoin. Their goof is going to be created. However, Yikuma Guf of Ruach. The goof is going to get up, but without a ruach. On the bossa is galgont chusafra adim to Eretz Yisrael, but tamonya kabel shmosa. A little bit achirina, but they can't get the neshama in a different rishus. In other words, a rishus that is not Eretz Yisrael. Why? Begin the iskayim and baalma kedachozi because they should be niskayim properly. And the Rebbe recorded from other Zohar because there's Eretz Yisrael is the land of eternity, and if a person is HaMeisim in the land of eternity, he will live for eternal. Machenkin of books Lawrence. So the Rebbe wants it should be dafke the Techiyas Meishem in Eretz Yisrael. Okay, this is a gavurcha. This is we already covered this. The Rebbe learns so, and one more Zohar. Turn the page. There is in the Zohar and Shmois, there is pages and pages and pages, and it's very complicated what the Zohar really holds, because it goes back and forth and back and forth, pages and pages and pages. The Rebbe chaft on the fact that in somewhere over here, like 5 lines from the top, it says Mimona Afa Yaakov. You see the pasuk Mimona Afa Yaakov? It says Pasach v'Omer Mimona Afa Yaakov Mispas Rebbe Yisrael. That David counts the Eden, the Yisar Shabrich L'Chayim Isaiah, David shall be Messiah to be HaMeisim. Kana the Sadr beGilgula, those that were in a Gilgul, page 54. Beruch Echada, they had one ruach, but 2 gufim. Train avon, train imon, kama gulgulim is galkal nad yoder, afgab the hitmar v'ochyu. Even though this is the way it is, avomimon afa Yaakov means v'iyu taken kula v'lo isyavit klum v'chula yakum. Nothing will be lost. Everyone is gonna wake up at Techiyas HaMeisim. The Rebbe sort of learns that this is that the Zohar is written in order, and the Yosef Chayesora is a machlokes, and kilu that's the halach. And then the Rebbe said to look in Shara Gilgulim. Let's look together. You want to look together with, you know what, Moshe, you want to look together with Mr. Liebman? Okay. He says like this. This is the Shara Gilgulim from Reb Chaim Vital, Agdoma Daled, and it's the top line. I'm sorry, Kihine im bepam alaf shelo yisel nefesh. V'lo yizachol takenos kulo meis. Nikim sheguf hazeh halaf leishlom takenos kol b'chinas nefesh. Chametz Techiyas HaMeisim guf. Halaf Elois hachelek haprota shetiknu b'chaim. Chen shemes galgal nefesh zois b'guf acher lahashlom tikunu yochel lahasek naran. V'oz b'chinas chalokim shel neshama shetikunu b'guf hazeh hasheni im kol klolos haruach im haneshama. Heim lazeh aguf habeis b'zman atchiyah. He says, for example, if there's nefesh ruach neshama, the first will mataken only nefesh, the second goes malach kalka, and the other ruach neshama. So the first goof gets nefesh, the second goof will get ruach neshama. Boifin came look alav shum chelik beruach neshama, only the nefesh. Aval chelik im abeis b'miktzas hanefesh kefi achalokim ashetikim imenu v'shor achalokim el l'sheni. So if he was mataken nefesh, a little bit of ruach and neshama, he gets a little bit from that too. Well, derech man anisker the saba the mishpot minyan ayibum ki aguf alav the law atzlach v'pirya v'riba ein zecher al ak nitzes proti shel nafshehi Voice and it's the shavek be and the tisei the bio aleph, just like the man was married to one woman, then she was married to the other, and she was zeichet of a child with the other one. So it's like the neshamas and the gufim are similar to that. Sheris chelke nefesh meruch neshama im guf hasheni. Is that same because bezeh pashas chayesor dav kuf lo madam lo ma'amer. Hane guf de laatzle lahave kolo have. V'adov es matmia. Kein lechod misrol she'enoi mol mitzvos kerimen. V'lo mi is battle legamri bezman atchiyah. How could you say? There's a Yesoid Musid, and we learned this year the Maimer. It's all a circle. We had a discussion. We spoke about it. Then we learned the Maimer. This is all why I'm learning this, because when we learned the Maimer, I was thinking, oh, Mitzvah Shem, when we get a good opportunity, well, so the Maimer that the Rebbe said that in Taf Shalom Gimel, it was, and he gave it out Lakovid, the yard site of his brother-in-law, who asked them many shilas on this issue. Is Kol Yisrael Yesh Chelik. Nakuda the Maimon is very simple. It's very Geshmak Maimon. Very, very Geshmak. We learned this Maimon a few months ago. And it's Mamash, a must-learn Maimon. The Rebbe says, the Nakuda, one of the main Nakudas to Maimon is that in Gan Eden, not everyone gets Gan Eden. Why? Because the Ikidim in Gan Eden is to live that Torah. So Ben, you learned it. It's Nish Galan, Yak Galan, Biflis Galan, Tag Galan, Tainak Galan. Mashenke and Techiyas HaMeisim is the Shaykh is more to mitzvahs. So Kol Yisrael Yesh Chelik because Kol Yisrael Malay Mitzvahs Kirim. This is the Kud of the Rebbe Zach, which is very musid on several of the Zoyars that are talking about in Techiyas HaMeisim. And as you see here, also that Izal makes a big deal out of this. Because the Indian of Zman Atchiyah is a Shaykh of Mitzvahs Dafkin. Aber der soll auch in Iker Teine Gosse Lobe who Prince Ruach von Shama. Wir gufen alle schein bei vielen Nefesh-Schleimer, Ragnitz Brote, who Ruche the Shavik Bintese, because it's like a little bit. Nimmt sich ein Teine go. Wer ich sehe, habe Kolo have. Aber bei ihm ist nachas Shalom. It's Kolo Hoye. It's as if, like the joke with Killit. You know, it's Kolo, Mamish. Kolohoya, but not chas v'sholom that be'emes lohoya. Aval im zeh aguf alav zochal dagen es fallen nefesh shach echol zepogam from this galgal echol zeres from this galgal nefesh yim aruach l'shama aguf abeis kenis kem galgal beschabres nitzutz nefesh acheres kedesh l'sayim b'mitzvah. Then they kre gilgul kofu schor in zeh. Galgal beis atchiyah choizem hanaram beguf alav. V'zeh guf abeis en ezechel nitzutz so nefesh acheres shabo yimoi. Zanitz ikri begufa aza base knefesh rishon kwan mitak gufa al gufa al kula nimmt shu yoga la khere mesafir bish nimmt zat slainu a maim rib cheches khadoy la khnafshi la khokroy la khotanoi tziri khaman ledik shadum zakal nefesh. One second before we continue, he's saying sometimes there's an opposite complex case of the opposite. The first guy was mitakin a lot. And then he was made a moididik pagam b'seif yoma, and they passed in the bezin shamayla that they're going to allow him to be metakin the pagam if he'll be nisgalgo. It's like like the story that Rebbe used to koch Hashem to his baby that passed away, and Hashem said to the parents they should realize that there was metakin. It was a big tzaddik. He told them the whole story. It was really a big tzaddik. Elamai, he needed to be metakin a small tikkun, and therefore they were zoicha to take care of this child, so he didn't have to be in the world. The Rebbe used to use the story a lot of times. No joke. The Rebbe used the Rahman people said, for me and you to say stories, we don't have the right to say such things. But the Rebbe, and the story of the Hashem was metakin because let's leave the story aside now. And then we'll, because I just want to get to the end of the story. But there's the opposite, which is, I'm sorry. This is what I'm saying. The opposite is that the first Gilgul did everything. Never should have called Shabbat. I'll get to Zach. Little problem. So it comes to again. So it's not fair to say second guy get everything. No, the first guy gets Never should have called Shabbat. And the little bit that the first guy has to leave over for the second guy from the Nefesh Ruach Neshama, And then the second guy can't live from that alone. It's too little. So then he has a tziduf from something else, because even in his lifetime, he must have had a tziduf of something else. And tziduf from the other thing together, it's complicated, yeah. And so, הנה, צריך ללמד, כשלמדנו בזה, שם, רק הפעם האויסה, נסבור שלושה מגיל גבוהים, שלושת פעם יחד, ולאחר המגיל גבוהים, ויצר ללמד מה יהיה משפט הנפש של אנשים האלה. Okay.
So, different question now.
Yeah.
How do you do with the Shama Shabaskel? What's that?
Huh?
The Shama that it's a mirror. It's a mirror of three,
No, because usually a person operates. The Zoya says that there's a piece of Zoya in Achlei Mois that is printed in the minor lotion right before the Mava Yabbat, and it says over there, "Is nefesh v'is nefesh zocha ahu barnash ariken elei ruach k'teksiv ad yore aleich ruach mimor." Zocha barnash zocha also. The Rebbe says the pshat in the Zoya is. Every Yid has nefesh or Shomachayim Yechida. You operate only on nefesh. You don't usually operate. These are like the generators, the backup generators. You know, all the Yid has Nesoyan Kiddush Hashem Chay Yechida kick in. Usually, a person operates Mebchinas nefesh, and then there's a backup generator, which is Ruach, this more powerful generator, Neshama Chaya Yechida. Person usually operates only with B'chinas nefesh. Within nefesh, there is nefesh and maskelis. When we say nefesh, there is nefesh the nefesh of nefesh lekis. The nefesh of the nefesh lekis is misarev with the nefesh hamaskelis.
Will you do multiple maskelis?
I guess, yes. Okay, so let's now go into the Teshuvah. Where's my, okay, here. Everyone's page 54. It's on page 54. Now that we read a little bit in the Zohar, here, page 54. Shargum is, no, it's Reb Chaim Vital explaining Shita Sariza. Yeah, this is Mila B'Mila Oiz V'Mois from the Reb Chaim Vital. Okay, Neshama, Shkona, Shkvarei B'Pama Ba'olam B'Gufa. Our Chizkiya. Itame, the Kol Gufin, the Alma Yakumim, this Arame Afra. In a Gufin, this Nato, the Nishmos, Achod, Mate Menai. Chet Chil Gufa Echad, Laka, Kol Guf Sheni, Mate Menai, what's going to be? Our Rebbe Yossi, in Gufin. Which we ready, that's the reason I made the copy of the Zohar to see how complicated it is. Because if you sing the Machlokes, Rebbe Yossi is the Machmet. Rebbe Yossi says that some people are Kahoyu Kalahoyu. But the Pirush Devorav Arizal, if you're going with the Pirush Arizal, Zel Shoinoi, the Rebbe is being very bekitz over here. But in other places, the Rebbe explains that besides the Pshat that Arizal gave in the Rebbe Yossi later the Zoya Mishmotim says that every single Yid is going to stand up. So it's clear in the Zoya that the bottom line is that no Jew will be left behind. Every Yid is going to get up. But even in the first Zohar, you can't read the Zohar. Me and you are going to read the Zohar. The Rebbe had this big called Sam Saposhnik. Another story. Sam Saposhnik. I'm also a shoemaker. Me and you don't learn Zohar. The Rebbe sagt Vitzelein na Zohar. The Arizal sagt Vitzelein na Zohar. The Chaim Vital sagt Vitzelein na Zohar. Me and you don't decide how to. Maybe there's some professors in the Hebrew University, and they'll teach the Zohar anders. But Ayid touched the Zoya, with Arizal touched the Zoya. So that's what the Rebbe is saying. Even though if you read the words of the Zoya, it seems pretty chumradik. No, Pirush Arizal, נפש כולו לכם כבתחיס מייס, אין לו גוף א', אבל אויס, החלק הפרוט של נפש, שתגר בחיים, לכם שבסגל גלס הנפש. אז יש בגוף האחל, השם תיקון, מבחינס קלוקים של נפש, שנדקנו בגוף הזה השני, הם לזה הגוף, הבייס בזמן התחייה, זה הדרך הנצקליל, לסעבד המשפוט, בעניין הגיב במתקן לשוינה. So the Rebbe says in Order 16 that Ramaz Lazoya, Achsheviti Be'azoya, Arizal Kosav, the Rebbe Yitzchak Pligi Rebbe Yossi, Hare Odom Shalatikin Al Achilek Prote Ben Avshoy, Kadosh Baruch Hu nois lemezman atchil neshama b'teres chesed. Uli yaseh mitzvah b'yis shah. Shaz yiskayim v'oil ma de'ois neshama. And lo yaseh you efer tachas kapas tzadikim. The Arizal says very nice. And I'm sorry, that Ramaz is a very important mefarish in the Zohar. But still, he's saying what seems to him kosher. He's saying that, okay, that's very nice. What the Arizal said is in Abshat and Abyoisi. But he didn't change Abshat and Abyitzchak. Abyitzchak says that if a guy was a go no goodnik in his lifetime, Techiyas HaMeisim he's zeicher to get in the Shama for 55 minutes. If he runs and does a mikveh fast, he gets to live. And if he klutzes around, he dies and he never lives again. That's what the Ramah says. The Rebbe says no, it must be wrong. But the law, hey, bi'ari zalala divrei Rabbi Yosi, needed the svira like Rebbe say. So it's very sharp here. The Rebbe argues over here on the Ramban and by the Yehuda, the Ramaz. Me and you don't argue with Ramaz or the Yehuda. But someone said yesterday a very good word, which is that Milan Ogodel from the Rebbe in this sugya of HaMeisim Mashiach Techiyas HaMeisim. So halacha kavasei b'chol mokem in this sugya. So this is the way the Rebbe learns. The Rebbe says, look, very nice that Ramaz teach the Zohar, but he goes that Arizal had nor give teach the pshat from what's pshat in the words of Rabbi Yossi. It's Shramano that he said the halacha is like Rabbi Yossi. And the emphasis is, like I said, not in this Teshuvah, but Dvarim Shabbat, the Rebbe sometimes explain that there's a Zohar later Mishpotim, which seems very clear that every Yid is going to wake up Techiyas HaMeisim. So that's the bottom line.
Rabbi, when you say effort tachat kavod tzadikim, to serve the tzadikim, that's the effort.
I don't know.
What do you mean?
I'm not sure what it means. Whatever it is, no one wants to know what it means. So,
But he's saying it.
I understand. So the Rebbe says the halacha is not that way. But the Rebbe is saying that the halacha is not like Rabbi Yitzchak. The halacha is like Rabbi Yossi. And even though Rabbi Yossi sounds like really sharp, but the Rebbe says you have to read it the way that Arizal reads it. Who's going to read a Zohar not like that Arizal? That Arizal says that the pshat is klo hoyu, that if they're matakin only a little part of the neshama, then it's but they're going to live. They're going to live. Okay. Ein lahakshus in Cain, you come up in the other shem b'malay zachalok in pratim and nefesh. Well, nefesh shleime ki zois l'madoi shekol chelak ma nefesh kol makol chalok. Chol chelak mifnei atzma etzio kem shleime. Av shemitzad yoyse chelak ma nefesh yoyse klolis ein el b'china achas. It's like the DNA. It's in every prat. There's all the protein. In the nefesh, there's nefesh shruch nashama chayachida. So everything has everything in it. So maybe in a smaller way, and this is what he's going to say in order 17. Ein kana mokem lavad in ze baruch, astapik bedugma. Odem asher itztayim b'kiyum mitzvah to es Hashem alekecha. V'tiken chelek v'nafsho ze. Hine b'mokem aguf l'tchia u'boy rak chelek proti ze. Hine b'chol ze yiyeh boy gam shor inyonei hanefesh. Nafsho tizbonim aguf Hashem alekayim mitzvah v'yidaita. Tiyebo midas hayire v'chule. El shekol ze yiyeh b'pnei shu oyev Hashem alchein oitze v'kayim b'ritzoyni. If in his lifetime he only did one thing, he experienced Avos Hashem, he's going to get a chelek of the nefesh, which is, the Rebbe translate Avodas Hashem, which is Avos Hashem. Because he has Avos Hashem, the Eibishter wants to have Yira. Even though in his lifetime he never experienced Yira, but because in his lifetime he experienced Ava, he worked on himself and he experienced Ava. So that chelik of the neshama that makes you experience Ava, he's going to have in his goof. Since he already has a shtickle from the neshama that allows you to experience Ava, and it's Avos Hashem, Ayid wants to do everything the Eibishter wants, so he's going to have everything. He's going to have everything. He's going to have everything. Yoru is nifred mino aklam razal yoru lekim abu bavram me'avok teksiv zen abramoyevi. So he's going to the gate for him is going to be Av. The gate for him is going to be Av. So that's an example that Rebbe is giving. In general, Chassidus, and the Rebbe said in the conversation he had with the Rashag, the Rebbe says, "Nefesh neshama chai yechida." It's Maisa, and then there is midos, and there's seichel. So how was he serving the Eibishter? Was it more about Maisa B'Poil? So he's got nefesh, but nefesh has in it. How you gonna do Maisa? Lamar it's chosid. What do you mean? He's gonna stand up with a nefesh. Er kann nicht verstehen, Stickel Gemara, er versteht nicht Chassidus, er versteht nicht kein Jiddisch Wort. So, how's he going to do mitzvahs? Muss man sagen that in the nefesh, there is also beginners, neshama, there's also chayachida, but the ikar by him is going to be the yin of nefesh. The other guy, with nicht getan as full ma'aseh b'poel, but more he did avoid this and learning Torah, he was zeichet the beginners, neshama. What, he's not going to do mitzvahs? Well, chas v'sholom. So everyone has everything, but the shaila is going to be what's the ikar inyan. The bottom line is that every yid is going to have Techiyas HaMeisim, B'li Yotzim and Haklal. Every yid is going to have Techiyas HaMeisim, B'li Yotzim and Haklal. But it's interesting, when you read the Zohar, even the Arizal, it sounds a little bleak. But then when you get the Rebbe's Hezbit, the Rebbe is saying that you have to understand, Baruch is such a thing, Nefesh. Yeah, very nice. Nefesh has in it the whole DNA of the Neshama. The Nefesh has also Nefesh Ruach Neshama Chayachid in it. So therefore, it's not going to be Shayach that a Yid is not going to wake up Techiyas HaMeisim. And even when there's Techiyas HaMeisim, it's not going to be Shayach that a Yid is not going to experience the full experience. Alamai, there'll be those that are Zoichet experience it with a stronger level of Tainu. But every Yid is going to live, and every Yid will experience the full experience of Techiyas HaMeisim. Gedolos Matzina Sheklos Kol Neshama Ziyach Neshama Achitz Shalodam Arishin. Kemurumas Umayim Razal Shalodam Arishin Mutal Girl Besh Baruch Tzadik Tzad Shos Umayim Menev Yesh Tila Beresh Shalodam Yesh Tila Besari. They Tanya Perik Beis. It says the Neshamas are one unit. And Lamai gets broken up into pieces. The same thing, just like Adam Arishin was one Neshama and it got broken up, right? So all of us, any one of us lacking in our Neshama, we should be lacking because we all come from one neshama adam rishon. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Once it splits off, once the atom splits, so yeda chelik neshama has everything in it. Okay.
What's Mutal Geilam?
Huh?
What's Mutal Geilam?
When he was a goylem, when they just gave him the neshama and he was kilo, he didn't move his hands or feet yet. I found out. How is it going to happen? Shalom hoylach kachuba, hoylach iver ba iver, hoylach cherish ba cherish, ilam ba ilam, shem hoylach lavish ba lavish. Amma kadosh baruch hu yamda k'ma sheholchu, v'acher kach ani merab oisash. David said that they're going to wake up, if chas v'sholom, the person was an iver, he'll wake up as an iver, and then he will be nesrapa. That's what the Eibush decided it's going to be. Pirish hoylach lavish, tana b'shem Reb Nosson, susa yeret samadon l'sher liba imri. That's what the Gemara says in Yerushalmi. So this is also Kemash from Benita Samachal Basin.
They don't bury everybody with Techiyas and
whatever it is. Whatever, that's what he said. Well, yeah. Machlokas is bedover. Und wie geht's at Toisves, Machlokas is bedover. Und das Rebbe, boim b'la b'shem, kshoyer gila ben b'chai. That,
With the tide.
with the tide, with the shtreim. With the shtreim.
Different kinds in the
Yeah.
80, the 100.
All kinds of stuff. It'll be very colorful. Oh, bezoyer, bezman, die kommen so am Afrika, aber chigrim, und kann man so ben haben, boin, gedenke, schabrich, janer, loin, und shimshel, tasob, to be misrapen. Hoe kan man dat al net door, maar kan morgen met zich gaan met een artikel, which is dikke misrapen, that the sun is going to shine, and every Eid is going to be the serape through that. Sidra, what's the Seder? Wie wird sein der Seder? Was wird sein der Seder? Dan doch sein der Seder.
Yeah, of course.
Meise Eretz Yisrael Chaim Techila. Vakich Meise Chutzlor, it's Yushalmi Kilayim, and so is Mashal Gemara Tzuvas that Kuf Yudalef. V'achik kach der Midbar, v'yesh Shemer im Ovis. That the Ovis will come later. The Ovis will come later.
But that's so, that should get a force.
Oh. Let's wait a second. Rebbe Shimon Omer Meise Eretz Yisrael Chaim Techila. Vakich Meise Chutzlor, Vakich Yeshene Chev.
Oh.
Batam, Pirish, Besefer, Avkas, Roichel, from Maram Beis Yosef. Kadesh Kitsu Bioidol Simcha Beroisim Beneim Shakom Mikavreim Voret Malaya Mekama Tzadikim V'Chasidim. Why? Why is it that L'chayri Yesheni Chevrem should wake up first? Why did the Eibishter make that the other Mason wake up first? So then Umadik. Avram Yitzchak and Akev get up, and there's not that many Yidden around. Shenkin, if already a lot of Yidden wake up with Chisa Mason, or it's Malay, Vakam, Tzadikim, V'Chasidim, so it'll be a big simcha for Avram Yitzchak Yaakov.
Fine, fast. Minutes, is it hours?
Because that he doesn't explain. Tzadikim come and Tchila V'Achim Shor B'nei Adam is a Zoyer, Mori Teure V'Achim Mori Mitzvahs, again the Zoyer, V'Medesh Isa, Sheyakuma V'Yikro Isam Al Shemom Al Pisei Den Alpha Beis. There is a medrash that says
How much the first one?
that they're going to go with the alphabet, not with the family name. No, it's not Greenberg and Lieberman.
Oh,
We are going with the first name. Avram, Chaim,
fine, it's okay.
nicht gefährlich. Chaim,
We don't take Tzvi, it's gonna be a problem, but then
no, your first name is Chaim. Start with Chaim. Aber Mishi yesh boi midas anova, yam etchila. At least one more piece I got to do. Anoshim shib is man atchis amazing. Kos, well, nicht gefährlich, that's the way. Anoshim shib is man, kos er sad yagom, sefer munis ve'edeyes, soif, Mishnah Zayin. And you see the Rebbe Poshet plowed through like Africa Seroichel, Unes Vedeyas, like not only the Gemara Rashi Toisus and the Rishonim that we have in Shas on the issues, Poshet from all over. Va'avur shakosov le'dibur b'zeh v'lo'y Rabbeinu le'kiblu b'zeh kabbalah nechilku b'zeh. That's what Rebbe you're going right. Aval atosh zechinu le'gilu sefer hazoyer. Nimtze sham chelik beis kuf ches amid beis v'zeh l'chayna ad ashte moist na'aves mesitra ochra. Makan v'hola ni'ames v'echir. Makan the bahu zimne kol inen the lo time the moistne minei from the Eibishter. HaKadosh Baruch Ti loin moisa v'yokin loin miyad Amai begin the lo yishtar bahu zuama ve'alma klal v'yeh alma chadeta b'vdoi yudoi dekut shabrich. So he's saying that the Zohar is saying that the guf has zuam in it. So therefore, they're gonna have to die for a few minutes. Funny thing is that the Rebbe said so many times that you could be yoitze this thing that the Indian of nafshik offer lakol tia bittul. The Rebbe said similar like you find in the Torah a lot of times like Oni Choshev Kemes, the story of Yaakov and Rabbeinu and Elifaz. If I have the story of Rebbe Zayda, that he made sure to forget the Talmud Bavli in order to be Oil Tam Yerushalmi. So a person doesn't have to die physically. So there's a few ways of learning it. There's a few ways of learning the discrepancy. Why did Rebbe over here insist that it's going to happen kipshutai? One is that here is a nigla, whatever. I mean, there's mashma from Chazal. That's what it's going to be. So that's it. It is what it is. But as I mentioned on Sunday, Efshekem Azog Nazab Shat. The Rebbe wrote this before he was at Rebbe. He wrote it before he was at Rebbe. And this that the Rebbe said that the Yidden that will be with Techiyas HaMeisim don't have to die kipshute. They cannot come with nafshik offer of Beldia. The Rebbe said as a Rebbe. It's an andazach. One of the Chabad Rebbes, there's a story. Maybe it was the Mittel Rebbe Dal Rebbe, or maybe it was Tzemach Tzedek and his grandfather. But there was a Shakla Mataya about something, and he thought he paskened a certain way, and then Alter Rebbe showed him that he made a mistake, and he had a moedik chalisha sadas from it. How is it you're talking that he made a mistake? So whichever Rebbe it was, maybe it was Alter Rebbe. So he told them, but you're not a Rebbe. Was it Tzemach Tzedek? You saw in the book of the Tzemach Tzedek? Was it Tzemach Tzedek and his son, maybe?
Okay.
Well, it's not. There was two Rebbe. There was a Rebbe and a son.
Before you are ready, you could make a mistake. What's your
No, yeah.
It's out there, but so funny.
It could be Alter Rebbe and Tzemach Tzedek. That makes sense in a way because Tzemach Tzedek passed on a lot of things. Achayev. Mittel Rebbe didn't pass on so much. It wasn't a boysen. You know? So we see there's a certain siyata d'shmaya, certain, like Daber Echad Ladoir, there's a certain. So when the Rebbe became Rebbe, then the Rebbe passed him that it doesn't have to happen kipshuta, it can happen through v'nafshika ofa or lakroti. Okay, well, the short Yerok is the last few pieces we'll find another, maybe even tomorrow night, whatever. We'll find somewhere to finish it. Lina will finish Teshuvah. So today we covered a nice couple of things. David shall help them. That out to the Teshuvah, out to the Geula, that Rebbe said that Eden already did Teshuvah. So we have to be Zocher ready to have the Geula Shlema. And we should be able to check or have a checklist and all the things that we learned from the Teshuvah to say, oh, this happened, this happened, this happened, this also happened. L'chaim, l'chaim. Shkar for joining us.
Bye.